Yes, hello. This is wildlife biologist Eric Orff from New Hampshire Fish and Wildlife. Well, I had used another video to talk about a reflection of my diary, and I often look back, a year or two before in my diaries to see what happened last year, how my garden was doing, and what I was up to on that particular day or that week. And I usually keep 2 or 3 or 4 years worth of diaries within reach at my deck table to kind of see what life has been going on, and comparing it to what's going on this time this year. Well, the other day, a couple days ago, as I was looking over my diaries, I decided to reach back and go back to my diary from 1996. Now, in 1996, I actually was still the black bear biologist for the New Hampshire Fishing Department. I also was the fur bear biologist. I regulated hunting and trapping of more than a dozen species: otter and mink and beaver and fisher and raccoons and weasels and opossums, coyotes, foxes, red and gray. So I regulated hunting and trapping those species. I also was the black bear biologist and had been since 1978, the fall of '78. But I also was the Region 3 wildlife biologist. The Region 3 office is situated in Durham, New Hampshire, down on the coast. And the majority of the folks in the office are, of course, marine biologists. There were, I think, 8 or 10 marine biologists and 2 of us that were in the wildlife division that worked out of that office. And we helped each other a lot. When I was banding ducks and I needed helping hands, I could count on the marine biologist to pitch in on those days that I needed a lot of hands. And there were days that I counted alewives at the fish ladders, or helped them dive tended when they needed a dive tender. So we certainly switched off duties, and when staff was needed, we certainly pitched in to help each other. And that particular morning, July 2nd, and the other video I talked about, was the morning that there was an oil spill in the Piscataqua River, and I was called out a little after 4 a.m. But by the early afternoon, all the notes had been taken and pictures had been taken, and things had kind of settled down on Great Bay. And I had an appointment to head up to Lyme, New Hampshire. Who was up in Lyme? Well, in Lyme, New Hampshire is Ben Kilham, mother bear man. I had given Ben Kilham his first bear cubs a few years before that to raise, orphaned cubs, and had been out with Ben walking some of these cubs. You learn so much from a bear about bears, and not just the bears you were watching, but they know bear signs. They go up and will smell a tree, and you go over there and there's fur in that tree from where a bear had gone up and rubbed his back and left his mark. You would never see that. It's impossible, but you learn so much by watching bears and those cubs. But this afternoon I had an appointment to join Ben for a shooting of the National Geographic Society's film about Ben Kilham, Mother Bear Man, I think it was called. So I spent the afternoon into the evening as we shot a number of pictures with the orphan cubs, and we spent several hours together. I did see some of the films. I'm pretty sure I ended up on the editing floor. I actually a note here at this was one of the long days. I worked like 16 or 17 hours that day, but I have a note here in quotes: I did some acting today. So for 3 or 4 sentences one day on National Geographic, I did some acting. So you're looking at an actor here. Not a very successful one. Never planned to be one. At that I failed, but because obviously I didn't make I don't think I made the film. Anyways, it was an exciting time to be woken up at 4 in the morning and respond to an oil spill, and by the afternoon working with the folks from National Geographic. So an awesome career being a wildlife biologist in New Hampshire. You never know what the day is going to bring. I worked at the job from November of 1976 until June of 2007, and I loved every day of it. It was such an exciting career, and that's kind of why I want to share my diaries with you folks. Oh, by the way, I have not said this in the past, but if you enjoy these videos, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you can figure that one out. I haven't You know, I'm new, as you see. I'm walking on and off the camera. I did try to do some editing a week or two ago and lost everything. So I'm kind of on the steep end of the editing curve still. Yeah, I can wrestle with a bear or a moose. With editing, not so much. So you get what you get. Yeah, but I am learning, and I hope you enjoy my videos about Eric Orff, the wildlife biologist, and my 40 years of diaries.